Hello. How are you doing, Megan and Lori?
Hey,
Hello,
I'm
hello.
so excited that we're going to be doing this reset and restore for 2021. I think lives are going to be changed. I think all of us coming together, sharing our information, our knowledge, and helping women, moms set up for 2021 is just going to be so exciting. So, Lori, how did you become a transformational nutrition coach?
well, my story started, I was a teacher and
You are a teacher. You're not, you
I'm
weren't a
still a
teacher.
teacher.
You
Yeah.
are a teacher.
but no longer in the public education system. But I was experiencing, my own health symptoms. I was having digestive problems. I was gaining weight and brain fog and all that. And, I have a history of autoimmune disease in my family. And so I just was researching a little bit and I thought, maybe food has something to do with this, what we're eating. And so I started my certification to be a transformational nutrition coach. And, along the way, I did find out that lots of foods cause inflammation and, maybe gluten sensitivity caused a lot of my family's health problems. But the thing that surprised me along the way was that our thoughts and our mindset play such a huge part in our health. I never realized that until I got into it and I started, working with women. And so now that's kind of what I focus on, is that mom that has been a people pleaser and has, made sure everybody else in her family is okay. And she forgot about herself in the meantime, she forgot what she likes and she doesn't even recognize her own feelings anymore. And all those things create health problems, health concerns, joint pain, headaches, the weight gain that I talked about, the digestive issues. And so that's what I help women with. I'm, very passionate about that.
And I think you bring a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge to that, which is amazing. So what fun little thing are you going to work on with us for our reset in January?
I don't know about both of you, but I have been baking with my daughter and eating the things that, I'm just bored sometimes and I'm eating things that I shouldn't. And so I know a lot of us have been through that. I've seen lots of people posting on Facebook and Instagram that, oh my gosh, I've gained weight. I'm eating so many things. So we're going to work on bringing back in those whole real foods that we know we should be eating, and it's going to be a 21-day, I call it a whole food cleanse, but really it's just about being mindful of what we're eating and bringing back in those things that make us feel better, get rid of some inflammation and some of those symptoms that we're having. And, those things cause anxiety and depression too. So the more we can get those out of our diet, the better.
I love that. Okay, so here's my question then. Am I going to be hungry? I mean, am I going to be hungry? Because
I don't do hungry, I do hangry.
No,
exactly.
That's the thing. Like,
yeah,
those things where they do some juice fast thing or some drink, some pink drink or green drink that you have to drink. No, it's not going to be anything like that. It's real food. And I'm going to be encouraging you to get more of those healthy foods. So if anything, you're going to be really full.
So I get to eat more foods and lose weight?
Yes,
What's your
possibly.
tolerance?
It's possible.
Yes. Yes, I'm in. I can't wait to hear from you on the,
I know, I am too.
I mean, because you know, food is this interesting thing. It's like, yeah, we understand. Most of us know what we're supposed to eat, but why don't we eat it? And I can't wait to hear your support system for that on helping women to make the
Yeah.
changes through the mindset and the food that supports that mindset.
Yeah. And it's really about the support and the accountability that we can offer each other. You'll be helping me, all the women in the group will help me as well, because I need that support and accountability as well. So we're all going to support each other.
So when we can go on into our Facebook group and go, okay, I'm getting hangry. What do I do? And you're going to go, okay, go eat this whole food for you right now. Ah, yes.
I'll
My
have some
husband's
tips.
gonna like that. My husband's gonna like that because he doesn't want me to be hangry.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
So Megan,
Yes.
what got you into yoga?
Well,
And I know
enough,
it's more than just yoga, so this is
no,
the fun part.
I know, and that's what I always tell people. It's yoga is so much more than the poses, right? It's so no, funny about like 9 years ago, I was dealing with just family stress, like full disclosure, like having trouble getting pregnant. And I had a really good friend of mine, which I know if it had come from anybody else, I would have been like, but she was like, you might want to try yoga, and it was one of those things like, seriously. But it was just at that right time and the right everything that I was like, okay, I'll do it. Like, I'll do anything at this point. And so really that's kind of what started it for me, was just the stress and anxiety and a lot of things going on in my life that I needed like a release, for lack of a better word. I needed a way to get back inside my body because it was out here. I was up here in my head way too much. Everything else is out of control. And so yeah, no, I started a beginner's yoga series, and the rest is kind of history. I got pregnant a couple months later, then went into prenatal yoga. And when I came out of all of it, I was like, well, I'm hooked on yoga for myself. But as the kids kind of started getting older, I noticed, they diagnosis of ADHD, dyslexia, that kind of stuff. And so I started looking for tools for my kids, and lo and behold, there's yoga for them too. So I started actually teaching kids yoga, so getting my certifications in kids yoga and special needs and that kind of stuff. And then finally I tell people I worked my way up to adults. But a lot of what I do is like adults and families, right? I mean, I do obviously teach like the grown-up yoga class, but my specialty is really working with families, with moms that are, like Lori was saying, that, you've just given so much that you're kind of detached from your body, and, like everything's just all over the place and a mess. And so it's kind of coming home back to your body, connecting the mind and the body, then using a lot of mindfulness tools to use the breath to calm us down and just kind of have a moment. I always reference, there was one moment, I guess it was sometime during online schooling and quarantining, and, it stresses just, my daughter was just like, one more time, mom, mom, mom. And I could remember I just sat there and stared at the kitchen cabinet, and I was like, mommy's having a mindful moment. And I sat there and looked at the wood grain, and I did my breathing, and then was able to lower it back down such that I didn't turn around and be like, what? It was like, okay, what do you need? And so that is why and how I got into yoga, and why I love teaching people so much. It's like, all right, how can we kind of ratchet it back down so that the next time we get asked the 8 millionth question about Zoom or online calls or whatever it may be, you're like, okay, what do you need? So yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So I love that story and how it evolved from really almost like getting into it to learn your body, and get pregnant, get connected, all that, to now how important it is in this crazy time where we're all locked in the house and we're needing this. So what?
Megan, I taught my pre-K students some yoga poses, and some breathing exercises, and it really worked. It was so amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And the good thing about it is I was teaching like a child that was out of control with his emotions to breathe. Then it was also working on me as well.
Yeah.
So I love that you do that with moms and their kids.
Yeah, it works better when everybody's doing it, because I'll get from the back seat of the car, Mom, do you need to take your 5 breaths right now? It's like, yes, mommy does. It's like, so there's I've actually taught pre-K preschool teachers, Head Start teachers on using mindfulness and mindful movement in the classroom. And it's exactly that. I tell them, like, you have to practice it as well if you're going to teach it to kids.
Yeah.
Because one, like, kids can see a faker a mile away, right? And they're like, you're not doing it, Miss So-and-so. So
right.
But the teachers, when the teachers are calm and they're, down here, they can focus and say, okay, you know what we need to do? Let's work on our breathing. Or like you said, let's do a little breath or a little movement or something like that. And then the kids pick up on that as well. And then they'll push it back on you. Like my daughter does. Mom, I think we need to take some breaths. I think we need to go and do a child's pose. And I'm like, yes, we do. So
what are you going to teach us during our retreat, our reset?
Oh, I have like a list of goodies, if you will. And I mean, definitely, all throughout the week, going to be sprinkling and all kinds of tips and tools and everything. But we're talking, relaxation and restoration type stuff. Before we can get into the heavy power yoga, all the things.
Okay, now wait.
We gotta take it back down.
I was gonna say, I'm not gonna be doing any headstands this week, right?
No.
I mean, you're not gonna be like, okay, now up the walls and everything, because I'm like a little scared of that.
I think a lot of people jump into that stuff when they haven't had a chance to like relax and find your body and get that body awareness. That we need so much, that you just, you're in, how many times have any of us driven somewhere and then realized, like, I don't remember that drive. You went autopilot. And so it's pulling us back in so I'm thinking like, we've got some restorative and kind of rest and restore type stuff, and just gentle stretching, that kind of thing. From working through finding a yoga practice that does work for you. Yoga is for everybody, no matter what your abilities or capabilities or level is. And so, kind of giving a little bit of samples of different yoga classes and how you can incorporate it. Also learning that yoga and mindfulness is not just a pose and a pretty like om kind of picture, that the stuff that goes into it and behind that. And then, last but not least, again, since I do specialize in families, like how you can kind of sprinkle these things throughout your family life. So it's mostly going to be about the mom and about you, but also, the kids are going to be watching and they're going to want to participate. And so how you can incorporate that as well. And then when you get the whole family kind of working as a unit like that, it's much better.
I'm excited because yoga is one of those things that I try and then I somehow walk away. And it's not, sometimes it's because like, wait, I'm not ready to put my feet up the wall. I'm not ready to stand on, put my knees up on my elbows and sit there. And I'm like, I don't even know how they're doing that. Some of it's that, and some of it's just, like being able to relax through it versus all of that. So I'm excited to get a practice that I can actually take for the rest of 2021 and build on. That's what I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, and how to find that practice that works for you, because not everybody is going to handstand. Some people are going to want to handstand, not everybody. So,
goals, people.
I know. And that's everybody's vision. That's what kills me is everyone has this, every time I hear it, I'm not flexible. Well, I tell them that's like saying you're too dirty to take a bath. It's like yoga helps flexibility. And I can't handstand. Well, nobody asked, that's not, I don't want you to get stuck in that kind of mentality. That's what yoga is for. And mindfulness too, for that matter. Mindfulness is as easy as just listening to your breath. That's I tell people all the time, you just did mindfulness. They're like, wait, what? I meditated? It's like, yeah, you just did, So yeah, easy stuff.
Yay. supporting that with, I mean, with getting to know our bodies,
Mhm.
helping our bodies be healthy, that's amazing because the two of you are going to work so well together.
Yeah, you're gonna feel amazing after that whole food thing, and then coming into yoga like, all right, I'm ready. Let's do this. Like,
Yes.
really,
And
yeah.
the timing's going to be just right because we're going to be, yours is kind of at the end, so we're going to be coming out of
Mhm.
our into our last week of our 21 days of whole foods. You're going to have gotten through some of that maybe not feeling great stages, but I know we're not going to feel that
Mhm.
because Lori's going to take care of us through those.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Michelle, I want to know about you, and like, you're such a genius at getting
Yeah.
people to recognize their possibilities and help them dream about their future and, you know, all the things that they can do. So I'm really excited to hear about, you know, how you help serve women, and well, tell us a little bit about your practice, and then we'll talk about what you're going to do
Yeah.
during this reset.
Oh, thank you. For me, okay, so I got into this, you know, we've talked about, you know, both of you kind of touched on losing yourselves through motherhood and coming back into your own mind and your own body. Well, I was a stay-at-home mom pretty much full time for about 15 years. Um, so when my kids started, you know, you could just see like they're about to leave. And then that it hit me, what am I going to do? Am I going to sit
Yeah.
here on the couch waiting and waiting and waiting? My husband has a very successful career, pre-COVID, traveled a lot. So I'm like, there's going to be a lot of time I'm by myself. So I went inward and said, what do I want to do? And I'd always had a passion for helping people. Um, Sometimes that passion we can take and get, you know, too much into people pleasing. And so sometimes I've had to do that, but now I've worked through that. And that's what I want to bring to other moms is like, how do we find happiness and how do we find confidence without it having to be based on how others view us?
Mm.
And one of the things we do with that is finding out our own dreams, our own exciting things. And so much of it, like if I know, you know, even a year ago, if you, what do you want in the future? And I could tell you everything for my kids, my husband, the city, the, you know, like everything. And they go, no, what do you want? And you're like, me? Well, that's what I want. And it's like, no, what do you want for you? And it's like, that's the challenge, I think, for some of us moms. So we're going to dive into that, defining what our vision is, our vision boards. And there's a key to vision boarding. Now, a lot of people kind of lose. They go to these classes, they get pictures and they throw it on the board and they're like, my board didn't work. Well, the board didn't work because there's a whole lot of mindset and a whole lot of other stuff that goes into the science of making the board work. So I'm excited to bring about vision boards that actually work and help moms reconnect to what they want for themselves. Yes, I know vision boards, all of us moms are going to have, we want this for our kids and we want to be able to do this for our kids and we want this for our kids. But I'm going to really challenge you during my week to, and well, for the entire month, because the vision board is going to be something we're going to do it at the beginning and you're going to continue to work on that as you get healthier and as you stretch your body and learn your body and as you learn to organize and do things. We're going to pull it all in together through our vision board. And so you're going to come out of 2021 or go into 2021 with a vision of what you want it to look like.
Yeah.
Does
I
that make
think we
sense?
really all need that, don't we?
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, and I mean, we don't control the world. We don't
Right.
control, nobody
We figured
controls
that out this year.
Exactly. But what you,
Oh
but
yeah.
what you do control is yourself.
Mhm.
And that's the thing. And when you decide how to be happy and what you want for you, it doesn't matter so much as much about what's going on in the world. Yes, our time constraints get different and all of this, but you can still be working towards that goal of yourself, no
Yeah.
matter what's going on.
And I'm
Well, I think
excited to get motivated for, you know, like this past year, just it seems like we've spent so much time just being in our home and sitting on our couch. And, you know, I feel like I'm getting I guess, lazier and not as goal oriented as I was at the beginning in January. So you're going to help us with that. You're going to help us, move
I hope
out of
so.
that,
Yeah.
move forward, take some baby steps forward.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about goals, the goals are so easy. I mean, but, I'll save it for the week. I'll save it for the time because we're all going to be live. And that's what's fun about this whole retreat is each of us is going to be alive. So you get to come, those of you who want to come join us, will get to ask questions to Megan, to Lori, to Paris, to myself directly in our lives. And we're going to be there. We're not just doing this, throwing up all the material and walking away. I mean, we are all going to be in there supporting you through the whole month, the 4 weeks, the retreat, whatever you want to call it. We are there. So you get 4 coaches for 4 weeks.
Yeah.
For your reset and restore for 2021. I think that's going to be so amazing because I know I'm excited to like, hey, Lori, I need your support on this, and listening to your videos and everything. And Megan, I mean, doing a yoga practice with you that week. And it's so exciting.
Yeah.
There's a squirrel on my roof. I'm sorry. I'm like, what?
You were literally getting distracted by the shiny little squirrel.
I know. What is the movie? Squirrel. I'm like, why is this up there on my roof? That's weird. But sorry.
No, I think that's what I love, like that, Michelle, you're going to be like starting us off with the mindset, right? I think we really have to set that kind of framework for this whole month. And I love that you use the word retreat, because I like to think of it that way. It's like, you think of like these women retreats that you go away for a weekend or whatever. This is going to be in your own home, which I think almost makes it a little bit easier to apply versus like at a resort somewhere where your husband's not there, your kids are not there, the dog's not barked. You know what I'm saying? Like you're going to be at home, applying these things at home, looking around the room, thinking about your life as you're living it. I love too, I think Paris had mentioned that, we're really taking all of these things in January to be able to take on 2021, because so many of us were blindsided this year. Like, what just happened? Where did my life go? So many things have changed. And so having this kind of the mindset set up, I know Paris is going to help us with organizing our life and our thoughts and everything. We've got Lori helping us reset the food, going into 2021, and then me, like incorporating that all into the body, and then using mindfulness and meditation, kind of tying everything together that, come February 2021 and something else gets thrown at us, we're like, all right, let's do this. I got this. Let's go.
And that's my definition of confidence, because confidence isn't about the bravado or anything. Confidence is knowing that no matter what you face, you can handle it.
Yeah. You have the tools.
Right. You have it all inside you. It's just a matter of let's pull it out, use it, pull out that and pull out this instead of stuffing it down and waiting. So that's confidence. And that's how we're going to start. All of 2021 is just going to be about building on that.
Yeah. So exciting.
All right. And it's Paris. How are you today?
I am good. How are you?
I'm great, of course. So tell us how you got into being the organizing guru.
Well, I was that child who would organize their room and make their bed, and I would appetize the spices. Like my parents didn't have to tell me, go in there and make your room. And this is just something that naturally I did. I went to college, I would make our beds, and I'm going to date myself. So I went to college in the 80s. So we had room inspection every week. So and my roommates would not, our room was a mess. And I'm like, no, this is not going to happen. So I would make their beds, I would clean the room up. And they would like laugh because they would make a mess just so I can clean it up. I'm like, whatever. I went to the military and they taught us, you roll your underwear, you roll your t-shirts, everything's like in order. And of course we had inspection.
Right.
So we're sitting there at the, in the position of attention, And the drill sergeant would come to my wall locker and be like, you have got to be kidding me. And he would just trash it. I'm like, I'm just going to put it back together. It doesn't matter. And, I'm the friend that you want to have over when you have a party, because they're like, oh, Paris has it. She'll take care of it. Like, because I'm the one, I'm not the host, but I'm like, you good? You good? You need anything? You good? I got you.
I can see that. I can see that.
And everyone knows that's just Paris. And so fast forward, I have a son that has OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, oppositional defiant disorder, ADHD, and Tourette syndrome. Great combination. And we're in his doctor's office. I'm over there organizing the bookcase. And his doctor's like, so let's talk about what's going on with you. And as a mom, you're like, don't worry about me. Just make sure he's okay. I'm good. He's like, no. Let's talk about you right now. And having a conversation.
Yourself.
That's what he said. He said, my patients generally don't come in and organize my stuff. He said, did you know you have obsessive compulsive disorder? I'm like, oh, okay. And that's the same thing my son had. So that night, as a mom, you're like, what did I do?
Like, right. That mom guilt. Oh, the mom guilt is so crazy.
And, that night, I'm tossing and turning. I'm like, what is going on? So I wake up in the middle of the night, and this is like early internet. And I search obsessive compulsive disorder, and I come across the National Association of Professional Organizers. I'm like, ding, 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 ding. Wait a minute. So I'm not weird. So this isn't like abnormal for me to go to other people's homes and offices and organize their stuff. Like, there are other people, like, I found my tribe.
Yes.
And then the light bulb went off. Wait a minute, they get paid to do this. So 17 and a half years ago, I started my business. And to this day, my clients will tell you, yeah, she's in that zone. She's in that zone. She's in that zone. And I love being in that zone because I have to touch it and feel it and, do stuff.
I'm going to say that is your zone. It's not in the zone. That is your zone. You just live there probably all the time.
Oh, yeah, I do. All the time.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what amazing organizational things are we going to learn from you in our Reset and Restore?
Yes. And I love our title because I'm going to talk about how to manage the new normal without losing your sanity. And this was an interesting thing right before our call, because I was explaining, like, I've had 2 weeks of intense Zoom calls. And the average day, I'm getting 7 to 9 Zoom calls. So people are like, oh my God, like, I can't do one Zoom call. Like, it's a lot. But you really have to be organized and have that mindset. And because a lot of times we probably didn't have a routine prior to the pandemic. So the pandemic happens. And now we're just like, oh my God, like, what am I going to do? So you have to stop, and I'm going to say it, reset, and figure out, and, take pen to paper, get it out your head and say, okay, this is everything that I have to do. How can I maintain everything without, like, pulling out my hair? Right. Because you have family, you have your spouse, and a lot of times everybody's at home co-working together. Even in like, raise your hand if that's you. Even in the workplace, you have distractions, but at home, it's a different type of distractions. So we're going to talk about how do you maintain multiple distractions. You've seen people have Zoom calls and the kids in the background, they're like, and it is hilarious. And then, I'm going to do it here just to kind of make a point.
Oh, yeah. On video, on video. Yeah.
Like, where did they go?
Yeah.
And I say that because I want to make it fun and exciting and interactive. And I want you to realize that, a lot of times people go, oh, I cannot wait for 2020 to be over, 2021. But 2020, think of this, vision. It was a year of vision to sit back and really assess what's important, What
Right.
do I hold near dear to my heart? Can I give back to pre-internet, pre-technology, and have a conversation with my family and figure out who I am and what I want to be in this world?
I love that. So I was, so my husband normally worked off in an office. He traveled a lot. He's now home. My son came home from college. He went back, but that new norm in our house is so different.
Mm-hmm.
So, am I going to be able to get that nugget that I need to learn how to put me back in my own schedule, organizing my own? I do good with it, but I think 2020 really shook my schedule and it's been hard. And I think about, like Lori, you and Megan have kids at home doing school and running businesses and trying to take care of yourself. So Paris, you're going to give us those nuggets this month?
Absolutely. And here's a little nugget too, because we're family here, right?
We are.
And I mentioned that I'm ex-military, so sometimes I just go in. Who's most important? You are. You are. If you don't take care of yourself, nobody else will. If you don't show up for your life, nobody else will. We've all probably been on an airplane. Put your mask on first, then assist others. What happens as a mom, and I was guilty of this too, I'm assisting everybody else. I'm making but let me get my son his mask on. And by the time it comes to me, I'm over here passed out.
Exactly.
And they don't know how to take care of me because I was the one taking care of everybody else. I hope y'all caught that because that was some good nuggets right there.
That was great nuggets right there. That's like your soundbite, like we'll cut this out, like do that. But yeah, no. I mean, I think that's great. And I think it's exciting because I think I've had people tell me, don't call it the new norm. If you want to go back and don't want it to be the new norm, don't make it the new norm. But in reality, our lives changed this year. And I think there's a matter of accepting it and then organizing with that new dynamic.
Yes.
Let's not, if we don't call it a norm or whatever, let's call it the new dynamics. Like I said, my husband was probably traveling every week. And if not traveling, doing dinners out and everything, probably 3 to 4 nights a week until this. And when he was home, it was so funny. When he was home for 6 weeks, we realized it was the first time in 28 years he'd probably been home for a continuous 6 weeks at a time.
Wow.
And now we're going, and that was what, April, May-ish, and here we are now. And, they've told him he's not going back to the office until April, possibly not till next summer.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, if I try and say, well, this isn't the new norm, it's like, well, that's just denying reality.
Right.
So it's like how to organize in that new norm is just, I mean, that's perfect for me because it's like, and we're getting it down. Of course, you get it down, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm looking forward to learning from someone who's an organizational guru like you and who live in that zone all the time. I mean, so many of the shows and all of that are about organizing your closet, organizing your pantry. But what about, I mean, damn, let's get real. Let's organize our thoughts. Let's organize our day into something, not just go buy a container and put a label on it and do that. Yes, that helps. I did that to my refrigerator finally, way too many years later. But I'm like, oh, this helps. But but there's a lot more to organizing than just those things.
Let me drop another nugget in here for you. People think it's the clutter. Clutter is not your problem. It's not your problem. And I'm real good at getting to the root of the problem.
Perfect.
Because it's not the stuff that we have. See, what I find is people accumulate stuff, things, clutter, people, whatever that stuff is, because they are seeking to be seen and heard. and they're hiding out by the stuff that they have. And as women, we do it a lot because it's, let me take care of everybody else and I'm going to put myself on the back burner.
Absolutely.
And we are the most important person. If we don't take care of us, who will?
Perfect. I love that. I'm so excited because I think this is going to be a month for all of you guys watching this video, joining us in our challenge. This is going to be a month to do just what Paris just said, because all four of us have that same theme. How do we put us back in our own schedule? How do we organize, and how do we start 2021 with us as a priority, but not, and I say it that way, but I want to make sure you guys, because moms freak out, I can't be the priority. But I'm not talking about like, oh, hey, you're two, go over there, make your own lunch kind of priority. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about here priority. How do we create mind share for ourselves? How do we stop the chatter that says we're only important when we take care of everyone else? That is what this whole month of January, our Reset and Restore 2021 is about. And I can't wait to have you guys come join us in our challenge. Please reach out to any four of us. If you have any questions, we're all here to support you. And that's the amazing thing, is you're going to get all four of us for the entire month, not just the week that we are presenting or doing. We're here all month to support you.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, I can't wait to see you in our group, and have a great day.